Clients are coming to us frequently now asking for SASE. This time last year, we were usually introducing the topic. Now clients are actively reaching out to learn about SASE and whether it's a fit for their organization. But most of the clients we work with don't need SASE, at least not yet. As I've discussed in other videos, going directly to SASE, unless you're starting from scratch, usually is not an option. Usually it makes more sense to scale into a SASE strategy with either an SD-WAN solution or an SSE solution. We'll talk about the options at the end of this video. I'll provide some information on how you can scale into SASE over time. Hi, I'm Steve Murphy. I'm a Vice President at ARG, and while I work for ARG, this video is my own and does not represent the views or opinions of my employer. This channel is dedicated to helping IT leaders make great business decisions. One of the key decisions IT leaders will be making in the future is to map out their SASE strategy. Now, many people think that SASE is just a buzzword, maybe a fad, and that will wane in the coming years. I don't think so. SASE, which stands for Secure Access Service Edge, a term coined by Gartner just before the pandemic hit, is, in my opinion, going to be part of your solution set in the future. How much of your solution set is debatable, but you will incorporate SASE in the future. I'm pretty certain of it. So what is SASE? I have several videos on SASE in this channel. I'm not going to go through a complete description here. I'll link to an overview in the video notes that you can view at your convenience. At a very high level, however, SASE is a framework that encompasses network access from both physical locations and remote or mobile users. SASE recognizes that most workloads are in the cloud rather than in a centralized private data center. SASE prioritizes secure access over the internet as the primary transport mechanism, rather than access to a centralized data center over a private network. Because SASE prioritizes the internet, it has a strong cybersecurity focus as well. On the network side, SASE is about managed network access and SD-WAN. SD-WAN is a super efficient way of leveraging all your network access and intelligently determining which traffic will have the best experience on which access type. I'll link to SD-WAN content in the video notes as well. The managed network access piece is something that most carriers provide today, but there's a catch. Well, actually a couple of catches. First, one of the main value propositions of SD-WAN is that you do not have to rely on a single network vendor. You can use whichever network provider is handy and offers the best value. But if you're interested in a managed network service, you really need a single vendor. That kind of blows up the network optimization strategy with SD-WAN. Some network providers will manage other providers' circuits if you have their SD-WAN or managed router service, but they'll normally do that only for a small portion of the network, and there's a question as to whether or not they'll be any good at it, like whether or not they can fix someone else's network and make that a priority. The second catch to the vision of managed network is that you have to use the network provider's SD-WAN. Most providers have several SD-WAN platforms to choose from. That's great, but you are forced into a pretty small universe of options. Then if you want to go the full SASE route and incorporate your SD-WAN with your cyber solutions, well, you're limited in terms of what you can do because you may not own or manage the SD-WAN. So if you get SD-WAN from your network provider, I think it's likely you'll be implementing SASE without SD-WAN. And we've got a term for that in just a moment. But it's not the worst thing in the world, but having that limits a choice, and that is, well, limiting. The cybersecurity side of SASE is where things get super interesting, but also super complex. SASE includes a variety of security point solutions. The vision is to incorporate all the solutions under one management roof. It's a grand vision and one that's coming to fruition, but I suspect it will always be somewhat incomplete. By bringing all these solutions under one umbrella, SASE reduces complexity, overlap multiple packet inspections, and should reduce costs. However, finding a comprehensive solution that meets all of your needs will be a challenge. Cybersecurity experts are a picky bunch. You like what you like, and you don't have much use for what you don't. The challenge will be that finding a solution that ticks all the boxes for your organization. It's possible, but it'll be tough. It'll be difficult. I foresee trade-offs in the future as organizations have to make the best overall choice, but sometimes the trade-off will not be possible. You're going to need a service that's not available from your preferred SASE provider. And that means you'll go to a third party and get what you need. But in so doing, you'll sacrifice all the benefits of a unified platform. No more single pane of glass, no more single SASE provider. I think we'll just have to get comfortable with the fact that SASE will cover 80% of our needs, maybe. We'll still have vendor selection process when we're choosing a new solution, even if you might lean toward the SASE provider solution as your default. So now how do you sort this out? If you're looking to do work on your edge, let's say you have an appliance refresh project, or are looking at saving money by swapping out carriers, which is something we can help with, by the way, but you're going to want to look at a managed network service provider and take a look at their SD-WAN offerings. There are multiple vendors that can lower cost and even provide more bandwidth. And you'll also want to take a look at 5G wireless backup options that are now on the market. 5G backup works great for smaller locations. But you'll also want to take a look at independent SD-WAN options. Your network provider may not have the SD-WAN solution that best meets your needs, or you may want to self-manage. The SD-WAN decision should, but does not have to be made independently of the network service provider decision. So that begs the question. If you're doing SD-WAN, are you doing SASE? No, not really, in my opinion. It might put you on a path to SASE, but it's not in and of itself SASE. In order for you to have a SASE solution, you need to add security functionality. Most, but not all, SD-WAN services come with robust firewalling capabilities. You'll want that firewalling to be hosted in the cloud, not on your box. My view is that the age of thick appliances at the edge is gone. The cloud has infinite computing capacity. Thick appliances will eventually limit your ability to add new services or scale in the future. There are many versions of SD-WAN on the market. I like the providers that offer private middle mile. Many networking providers are offering this, but some SD-WAN providers are also offering it independent of the service provider. The private middle mile offers near MPLS-like quality of service without the MPLS-like cost, although some service providers are actually charging close to an MPLS-like cost because the traffic is actually going over their MPLS network. Another benefit is that of the middle mile strategy is that since you are generally only receiving traffic from that middle mile provider, the provider is protecting you from DDoS attacks. Yeah, I might do a video on that in the future to explain that more fully. Now, what if you're really looking to bolster your cybersecurity posture? Let's say your network edge strategy is fine, or it's under contract, or maybe it's just managed by a different team. You want to focus not on the network, but on cybersecurity exclusively. This is where SSE, or Secure Service Edge, comes into play. Gartner coined Secure Service Edge about 2 years ago. My guess is that both providers and end users collectively complained about the all-encompassing definition of SASE. Many security providers have no plans to compete for the edge. Heck, many will convince you that the edge is no longer relevant. So we have Secure Service Edge, which ironically has edge in its name. You can't figure this stuff out sometimes, but anyway, back to the topic. SSE is SASE. Secure Service Edge is SASE without the network or SD-WAN. It's just the security side of the SASE framework. SSE is all about securing the worker, wherever that worker is. And yes, the SSE vendors want you to use their cloud-based services even if someone is sitting in the corporate office. The risk to the network is just as great as if they were computing from home or a coffee shop, they say. And they have a point. You don't know where that laptop sitting in the corporate cubicle has been. Let's treat it like there's a bad guy lurking in our office. This is handled through ZTNA, Zero Trust Network Access. Yet another video you'll find in the notes to this video. Okay, let's get back once again on track. The goal of SSE is to provide cloud-based security that follows your employees. It's always on and updated and in real time as threats evolve. And by putting all the services in one solution, SSE delivers a single management platform, single pass treatment, meaning that the encrypted packets traversing the network are decrypted just once, and then all the security services are applied at that point. Since you're not paying for the same functionality across several platforms, there should be a lower cost as well. Starting your SSE journey typically starts with one service. Maybe it's a secure web gateway. Then when you want to add CASB, you have a platform to do so. When your DNS solution comes up for renewal, you have another option that might simplify your life. Of course, you'll have to evaluate all the platform to make sure it meets your needs, but you'll have a preferred partner. Over time, you'll add many services to your SSE partner and portal and be able to manage these various services from that single portal. That's the vision. So whether it's SD-WAN, SSE, or SASE, it all depends upon your starting point. What is the immediate need of the organization? You'll go about solving that immediate need with your eye on the larger strategy, which in my opinion will be building a SASE environment. I'm happy to engage with you personally. If you want to follow up on any of the content on my channel, feel free to reach out. My contact information is in the notes to this video. And if you got some value out of this video, I'd appreciate a like, thumbs up below. Thank you very much for doing that in advance. If you want to find your way back here in the future, please hit the subscribe button. That will put my new videos in your feed and let you come back here at your convenience. Thanks very much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.